The Viridian sector was quiet that day. Commander Zekthar stood at the large window of the council chamber on Thessar Prime. He watched the ships move through space below. The capital world was beautiful. 3 moons hung in the purple sky. Zekthar had served the Kryn Confederation for 40 years. He had seen many things, but he had never seen a real threat to his people. The council meeting was starting. 7 species made up the Kryn Confederation. They had ruled this part of the galaxy for 3,000 years. No one had ever challenged them. They had the best weapons. They had the strongest ships. They were the masters of space. Commander Zekthar, the High Chancellor, called. "Tell us about these signals." Zekthar turned from the window. He walked to the center of the room. A hologram appeared above his hand. It showed a map of space. At the edge was the contested zone. Red dots blinked there. "We have detected strange signals near the contested zone," Zekthar said. "They started 3 months ago. They are getting stronger." "What kind of signals?" asked Council Member Thress. She was old and wise. Her blue skin wrinkled when she frowned. "We do not know," Zekthar admitted. "They are not natural, but they are not like any technology we know." The council members looked at each other. Some seemed worried. Others looked bored. The High Chancellor waved his hand. "The contested zone is empty," he said. "Nothing lives there. The planets are dead. Maybe these signals are from old machines. The Forerunners left many things behind. The Forerunners were a mystery. Ancient texts spoke of them. They had lived millions of years ago. Then they disappeared. Sometimes their old technology was found on dead worlds. Most of it did not work anymore." "Perhaps," Zekthar said, but he did not believe it. Something felt wrong. His military training told him to be careful, but the council did not want to hear warnings. They wanted to talk about trade agreements and mining rights. The meeting ended. Zekthar left the chamber. He was frustrated. The signals were important, he knew it. But no one listened to him. Far from the capital, on a small research station, Dr. Velisa worked alone. She was a xenoarchaeologist. She studied ancient civilizations. Her office was filled with old data crystals and broken artifacts. Velisa had made a discovery. For 5 years, she had been studying texts from dead worlds. She found the same name again and again: Terrans, humans. The texts were very old. Some were damaged. But the message was clear. Humans had existed, and they were dangerous. She read one text again. It was written by a species that no longer existed. The words made her skin feel cold. "Beware the Terrans. They come from a death world. Their planet tried to kill them every day, but they survived. They are hunters. They never stop. They never give up. They turn everything into a weapon. We fought them once, we lost. Now we hide and hope they never find us again." Velisa had found hundreds of similar texts. They all said the same thing. Humans were real. They were powerful, and they were terrifying. But where were they now? The texts were thousands of years old. If humans were so dangerous, why had no one seen them? Most scholars thought the stories were lies. They said humans were myths, stories told to scare children. Velisa did not think so. She believed the texts. She had requested a meeting with the High Council many times. Finally, they agreed to see her. She arrived at Thessar Prime 3 days later. Her hands shook as she prepared her presentation. This was her chance. She had to make them understand. The council chamber was impressive. It made Velisa feel small. The council members sat in a half-circle. They looked down at her. Commander Zekthar was there too. He watched her with interest. "Dr. Velisa," the High Chancellor said, "you have asked to speak to us about humans. We have given you 10 minutes. Begin." Velisa activated her hologram. Images appeared. Ancient writing. Pictures of strange creatures standing on 2 legs. They had no fur, no scales, just smooth skin and clever eyes. "Humans are not a myth," she said. Her voice was stronger than she expected. "They are real. These texts prove it. They come from 17 different civilizations across 2,000 light years. They all tell the same story." "What story?" Council Member Thress asked. "That humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy," Velisa said. "They evolved on a world called Earth. It was a terrible place. The weather changed constantly. Predators hunted them. Diseases killed them. But humans survived. They learned to make tools. They learned to work together. They became the top predators on their world." She changed the hologram. New text appeared. This text calls them the species that refuses to die. This one says they are born warriors. This one warns that humans can survive anywhere. They adapt. They overcome. They win. Some council members leaned forward. They were interested now, but others laughed. This is fantasy, said Council Member Vex. He was young and arrogant. If humans were so powerful, where are they? Why have we never seen them? I do not know, Velisa admitted. The last confirmed sighting was 6,000 years ago. After that, nothing. They disappeared. They died out, Vex said. Or maybe they never existed at all. These are just stories, old lies from dead civilizations. Other council members nodded. The High Chancellor looked bored again. Thank you, Dr. Velisa, he said. Your research is interesting, but we have real problems to solve. We cannot waste time on fairy tales. But the signals, Velisa said quickly. Commander Zekthar reported strange signals. What if they are human signals? The room went quiet. Zekthar looked at her sharply. He had not thought of that. Impossible, the High Chancellor said. The signals are probably nothing. Old technology. Random noise from space. Nothing more. I would like to see Dr. Velisa's data, Zekthar said. If there is even a small chance she is right, we should investigate. The High Chancellor sighed. Very well. Dr. Velisa, you may work with Commander Zekthar, but do not waste too much of his time. We have a confederation to run. The meeting ended. Velisa felt disappointed. They had not taken her seriously, but at least Zekthar would listen. That was something. 2 weeks passed. Zekthar sent patrol ships to the contested zone. They found nothing unusual, just empty space and dead planets. The signals continued, but they could not find the source. Velisa worked in the military command center. She compared the signals to her ancient texts. She looked for patterns. She searched for clues. One night she made a breakthrough. The signals were not random. They had a pattern. It was hidden, but it was there. And the pattern matched something from her research. It was a human communication protocol, one that was 6,000 years old. She ran to find Zekthar. He was in his office looking at star maps. Commander, she said breathlessly, the signals. They are human. I am certain. Zekthar looked at her data. His face grew serious. This pattern. It is a warning beacon? No, Velisa said. It is a listening post. Humans use them to watch space, to gather information. If we can detect their listening post, then they are here, Zekthar finished. Somewhere in this sector. Watching us. Learning about us, they looked at each other. The same thought filled both their minds. If humans were real, if they were watching the Kryn Confederation, what did they want? Were they just observing, or were they planning something? We need to tell the High Council, Velisa said. They will not believe us, Zekthar said. Not without proof. We need more evidence. He activated his communicator. This is Commander Zekthar. Send our best scout ship to the contested zone. I want them to find the source of those signals. Use full stealth. If anything is out there, I want to know what it is. The scout ship left 3 hours later. It carried a crew of 5. They were experienced and careful. They reached the contested zone in 2 days. What they found changed everything. In the darkness of space near a dead moon, there was a structure. It was small, maybe 20 meters across. It was made of materials the Kryn had never seen. It floated silently. Lights blinked on its surface. It was scanning everything around it. The scout ship moved closer. They took pictures. They recorded data. They tried to understand what they were seeing. Then the structure noticed them. The lights changed color. From blue to red. An alarm sounded on the scout ship. We have been detected, the pilot said. Should we leave? No, the captain said. Get closer. We need more information. It was a mistake. As they approached, the structure began to change. Panels opened. Something extended from its core. It looked like a weapon. It is charging, the tactical officer shouted. Evasive maneuvers. But it was too late. The structure fired. Not a normal energy blast. This was different. It was precise. It targeted the scout ship's engines. The shot went through their shields like they were not there. The ship went dark. Systems failed. They were dead in space, report, the captain said. What happened? Our engines are destroyed, the engineer said. Life support is on emergency power. Communications are down. We are drifting. The structure stopped glowing. It returned to its normal state. as if nothing had happened. It continued scanning space, waiting, watching. The scout ship sent a distress beacon. It took 3 days for a rescue ship to find them. By then, the structure was gone. It had destroyed itself. All that remained was debris. When the rescued crew returned to Thessar Prime, they told their story. Commander Zekthar listened carefully. So did Dr. Valisa. And this time, Captain Jake Morrison sat in his command chair aboard the UNS Valiant. The ship hummed quietly around him. They had been in deep space for 2 years now. Far from Earth, far from any human settlement. This was unexplored territory. Wild space. Unknown and dangerous. Jake was tired. Not physically, but mentally. 2 years of silence. 2 years of mapping empty systems. 2 years of being careful, of hiding, of making sure no one knew humans were here. Captain, Lieutenant Amy Grant called from the tactical station. I am picking up something. Jake sat up straighter. What is it? Our listening post at Marker 7, Amy said. Someone is investigating it. Jake felt his heart beat faster. They had placed 15 listening posts throughout this sector, small automated stations that watched space and collected data. They were hidden, stealthy. No one should be able to find them. Show me, he said. The main screen changed. It showed the listening post. And next to it a ship, an alien ship. It was larger than the Valiant. It had smooth lines and blue lights. Jake had never seen anything like it. It is a Kryn patrol ship, said Dr. Lisa Chen from the science station. She had been studying alien species for months, learning their languages, their technology, their habits. Standard military configuration. Crew of about 30. What are they doing? Jake asked. Scanning the listening post, Amy said. They found it. They are trying to figure out what it is. Jake's mind raced. This was bad. If the Kryn discovered human technology, they would know humans were in this sector. Earth's policy was clear. No contact until humanity was ready, until they had enough ships, enough colonies, enough strength to protect themselves. How long until they can access the post's database? Jake asked. Unknown, Lisa said. But our encryption is strong. It should take them weeks, maybe months. Captain, Chief Engineer Ben Holland said from the engine room through the comm system. They are charging weapons. I think they are going to destroy it, Jake cursed quietly. If the Kryn destroyed the listening post, they would destroy all the data it contained. But they would also see the explosion. They would analyze the debris. They would still learn about human technology. He had seconds to make a choice. Retreat and maintain secrecy, or protect human assets and reveal their presence. Earth Command had been clear. Secrecy was the priority, but Jake had also been told to protect human technology at all costs. Amy, Jake said quietly, prepare for combat. Target their weapons systems only. I want them disabled, not destroyed. Amy looked at him. Sir, if we engage, they will know we are here. I know, Jake said. But if we let them take our technology, every species in this sector will know anyway. At least this way we control when and how we reveal ourselves. Amy nodded. Her fingers moved across her console. Weapons ready, sir. Ben, Jake said. Divert all available power to shields and weapons. Already done, Captain, Ben replied. We are ready. Jake took a deep breath. Decloak. Fire on my mark. The Valiant had been invisible. Human stealth technology was advanced. But now, as the ship decloaked, it appeared on every sensor in the area. The Kryn ship detected them immediately. Jake could imagine the panic on that alien bridge. A ship appearing from nowhere. Unknown technology. Unknown species. Unknown intentions. They are turning toward us, Amy said. Raising shields. Charging weapons. Fire, Jake ordered. The Valiant's weapons were different from most species' technology. Humans had been fighting each other for thousands of years. They understood war. They had refined it, made it efficient, deadly. The shot was not a broad energy blast. It was a focused beam. It went through the Kryn shields like they were paper. It hit exactly where Amy had aimed. The weapons array. The Kryn ship shuddered. Explosions rippled across its hull. Its weapons went dark. Their weapons are destroyed, Amy reported. They are trying to run. Target their engines, Jake said. Disable them. But do not destroy the ship. Another shot. Another perfect hit. The Kryn ship's engines exploded. The vessel went dark. It drifted in space, dead and helpless. The entire engagement had lasted 15 seconds. Lisa, Jake said, Open a channel to them. Let me talk to their captain. A moment later, the screen showed the interior of the Kryn bridge. It was chaos, smoke, sparks, injured crew members, and in the center, the Kryn captain. He was tall. His skin was gray. His eyes were wide with shock. "I am Captain Jake Morrison of the United Nations Starship Valiant," Jake said. "Your ship is disabled. Your weapons are destroyed. You are alive because I chose to let you live." The Kryn captain stared at him. "What are you? How did you penetrate our shields?" "We are human," Jake said, "and we are claiming this region of space. That listening post you found belongs to us. Leave now. Tell your leaders what you saw here. Tell them humanity is real. Tell them we will defend our territory." "But the legends," the Kryn captain whispered. "The old stories. They said humans were extinct. We were hiding," Jake said. "Now we are not. You have 5 minutes to evacuate your crew into life pods. Then I am destroying your ship's database. We cannot let you keep any information about our technology." The Kryn captain nodded slowly. He began giving orders. His crew moved quickly. Despite their injuries, despite their fear, they were disciplined. Jake watched as the life pods launched. 30 small vessels, each carrying 1 or 2 crew members. They drifted away from the disabled ship. "Amy," Jake said, "destroy their computer core. Make sure nothing remains. One more shot." This time aimed at the center of the Kryn ship, where their data storage was located. The explosion was bright but controlled. It destroyed the computers but left the hull mostly intact. The ship could be salvaged, but all its data was gone. "It is done," Amy said. Jake nodded. "Send a rescue beacon for the life pods. Make sure they are picked up safely. Then get us out of here." The Valiant turned and jumped to faster than light speed. In seconds, they were gone. In his ready room, Jake sat down heavily. His hands were shaking. He had just made first contact. He had revealed humanity's presence. He had started something that could not be stopped. He activated the long-range communicator. It would take weeks for his message to reach Earth, but he had to send it. Command needed to know. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the UNS Valiant," he said into the recorder. "First contact has been made with the Kryn Confederation. We engaged one of their patrol ships. We disabled it. The crew survived, but they saw us. They know we exist. They know we have advanced technology. They know we are claiming territory in this sector." He paused. What else could he say? How could he explain what he had done? The choice he had made? "I recommend immediate fleet deployment," he continued. "The Kryn will respond. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but they will come. And when they do, we need to be ready. We need to show them that humanity is not weak, that we will not be pushed around, that we belong here." He ended the recording. He sent it. Then he sat in the darkness of his ready room and waited. Days passed. The Valiant continued its mission. They maintained position near the listening post. They monitored the sector. They waited to see what would happen next. Amy came to see Jake on the 3rd day. "Sir, I have been thinking. When the Kryn report what happened, what do you think they will do?" Jake looked out at the stars. "They will investigate. They will want to know more about us. They will be scared. Fear makes people do stupid things. Will they attack?" Amy asked. "Maybe," Jake said. "Probably. We embarrassed them. We destroyed their ship easily. Their pride will demand a response." "One ship against their entire fleet," Amy said. "Those are not good odds." "No," Jake agreed. "But Earth will send help. I know they will. We just have to survive until they arrive." In the engine room, Ben worked constantly. He improved the Valiant's systems. He made sure everything was running perfectly. If they had to fight again, he wanted the ship to be ready. Lisa spent her time analyzing data. She studied everything they had learned about the Kryn, their language, their tactics, their weaknesses. Information was a weapon, and she was gathering as much as she could. 2 weeks after the engagement, long-range sensors detected something. Ships. Many ships. Coming toward their position, "Captain," Amy said, "I count 50 vessels. All Kryn, all military. They are heading straight for us." Jake felt his stomach tighten. 50 ships. The Kryn were not taking chances. They were sending everything they had. "How long until they arrive?" he asked. 3 days, Amy said. 3 days. Jake thought about running. They could jump away, find somewhere to hide, wait for Earth's response. But if they ran, the Kryn would claim this sector. They would destroy all the listening posts. They would push humanity back. No, they had to stay. They had to hold the line. Prepare for combat, Jake ordered. I want every system at maximum efficiency. I want every weapon ready. We are not leaving, sir, Amy said carefully. 50 ships. We cannot win. We do not have to win, Jake said. We just have to survive. Earth is coming. I know they are. We just have to hold out until they arrive. The crew looked at him. They were scared. He could see it in their eyes. But they were also determined. They were human. And humans did not give up. 3 days, Jake said. Let us make them count. Ben, I want the engines running at 110%. Amy, I want battle plans for fighting multiple targets. Lisa, find me every weakness the Kryn have. The news spread through the Kryn Confederation like fire. A patrol ship had been destroyed. Not by pirates, not by rebels, but by something new, something unknown, something that called itself human. Commander Zekthar stood in the emergency command center. Reports flooded in. The rescued crew had been interviewed. Their story was consistent. A single ship had appeared from nowhere. It had destroyed their weapons and engines in seconds. The captain had claimed to be human, and then the ship had vanished. Impossible, Council Member Vex said. One ship cannot do such damage. Our shields are the best in the sector. Our weapons are advanced. There must be some mistake. There is no mistake, Zekthar said firmly. I have reviewed the data from the life pods. I have spoken to the captain myself. This happened. Humans are real, and they are more dangerous than we imagined. Dr. Velisa was called to the command center. She arrived within the hour. Her excitement was barely contained. She had been right all along. The legends were true. Tell us everything you know about human tactics, the High Chancellor ordered. We need to understand what we are facing. Velisa activated her data. Images and text filled the screens around the room. Humans are pack hunters, she began. On Earth, their homeworld. They evolved to work together. They coordinate. They communicate. They plan. Most species in the galaxy evolved as solitary predators or prey animals. Humans are different. They were both predator and prey. This made them cunning. She changed the display. It showed a harsh world, extreme weather, dangerous creatures, violent storms. Earth is what we call a death world, Velisa continued. The environment tried to kill them constantly. Hot deserts, frozen tundra, deep oceans, tall mountains. Humans learned to survive in all of them. They adapted. This made them flexible, creative, resourceful. Council Member Thress leaned forward. And their warfare? Humans have been fighting each other for their entire history, Velisa said. Most species develop war late, after they have cities, after they have technology. But humans fought from the beginning, with stones, with sticks, with their bare hands. They refined combat into an art form. She showed ancient human weapons. Swords, bows, guns, missiles, each more deadly than the last. They understand something that most species do not, Velisa said. War is not just about having better weapons. It is about strategy, deception, knowing your enemy, using their strengths against them. The ancient texts say that humans can turn anything into a weapon, even their own weaknesses. The room was silent. Everyone was thinking the same thing. The Kryn had been at peace internally for centuries. They had police forces, patrol ships, but they had not fought a real war in 300 years. Their tactics were old. Their strategies were standard, predictable. What else? Zekthar asked. What other advantages do they have? Endurance, Velisa said. Humans can keep going long after other species would collapse. They have incredible stamina. They heal quickly. They recover from injuries that would kill others. And mentally they are stubborn. They refuse to surrender. They refuse to die. The texts call them the species that never quits. Zekthar felt a chill. Everything Velisa described matched what the patrol ship had experienced. The precision of the attack, the tactical thinking, the mercy shown afterward. These were not random actions. They were calculated, planned, professional. We need to respond, Councilmember Vex said. We cannot let this insult stand. One ship defeated us. We must show them that the Kryn Confederation is strong. How many ships should we send? The High Chancellor asked. All of them, Vex said. 50 warships, the largest fleet we have assembled in 3 centuries. They will see our power. They will understand that we are not to be challenged. Zekthar was not sure. 50 ships seemed excessive, but he understood the political reality. The Confederation needed to show strength, to demonstrate power. If they sent only a few ships and those ships were defeated, the humiliation would be worse. I will lead the fleet personally, Zekthar said. But I want Dr. Velisa with us. We need someone who understands humans, who can help us predict their actions. The High Chancellor nodded. Very well. Assemble the fleet. Proceed to the contested zone. Find this human ship, and show them that the Kryn Confederation is not to be trifled with. The fleet began to gather. 50 ships from across the Confederation, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, support vessels, thousands of crew members. The largest military operation in living memory. Zekthar stood on the bridge of his flagship. He looked at the assembled fleet on his screens. It was impressive, powerful. Surely 50 ships could handle one human vessel, even if that vessel had superior weapons. But doubt nagged at him. The ancient texts Velisa had shown him, they spoke of human fleets, hundreds of ships, thousands. Where were those ships now? Was the vessel they encountered alone? Or was it just the first? A scout? A warning? He did not know. And that uncertainty worried him more than anything else. Meanwhile on Earth, Admiral Richard Blake received Captain Morrison's message. He read it 3 times. Then he called an emergency meeting of the Security Council. The council chamber on Earth was deep underground, protected by layers of rock and metal, built to survive anything. Wars, natural disasters, even alien attacks. 15 people sat around the table. Military leaders, politicians, scientists, the people who made the hard decisions, the people who guided humanity's future. Captain Morrison made first contact, Admiral Blake said without preamble. He engaged a Kryn patrol ship. He disabled it. He claimed the contested zone as human territory. The room erupted. Everyone spoke at once. Some were angry. Some were excited. Some were terrified. Order, the Secretary General shouted. One at a time. General Sandra Hayes spoke first. Morrison disobeyed orders. We told him to maintain secrecy, to avoid contact. He should be court-martialed. He protected human technology, Admiral Blake countered. If the Kryn had captured our listening post, they would have learned about our capabilities, about our presence, about our intentions. Morrison made the right call. The right call? Hayes said. Now the entire Kryn Confederation knows we exist. We are not ready for this. We needed more time. Time we no longer have, Blake said. The secret is out. The question now is, what do we do about it? We could withdraw, someone suggested. Pull back all our ships. Abandon the sector. Let them think it was an isolated incident. That would make us look weak, Blake said. The Kryn would push into human space. They would investigate. They would find our colonies, our shipyards, everything we have been building. Better to meet them now, on our terms, than to have them discover us later when we are unprepared. So you want to fight? Hayes asked. I want to negotiate, Blake said, but from a position of strength. If we show weakness now, we will never recover. The galaxy will see us as prey, as victims. We need to demonstrate that humanity is powerful, that we are a force to be reckoned with. The Secretary General thought for a long moment. What do you propose? We deploy the Third Fleet, Blake said. All of it. 72 ships. We go to the contested zone. We support Morrison. And when the Kryn arrive, we offer them a choice. Peace or war. Cooperation or conflict. Let them decide. 72 ships, Hayes said. That is everything we have in that sector. If we lose everything. If we do nothing, we lose anyway, Blake said. At least this way, We control the outcome. The council voted. It was not unanimous, but it was enough. The Third Fleet would deploy. Admiral Blake would command, and humanity would reveal itself to the galaxy. Blake went to the fleet headquarters immediately. The Third Fleet was Earth's pride, built over decades, designed for this exact moment, when humanity would step onto the galactic stage. The ships were magnificent, sleek, powerful. Each one carried hundreds of crew members. Each one was armed with the best weapons humanity could build. Each one represented years of work, of planning, of preparation. The flagship was the UNS Washington, a massive battleship, heavily armored, bristling with weapons. It was named after the first president of the United States, a man who had led his people to freedom, to independence. Blake hoped he could live up to that legacy. He addressed the fleet commanders via hologram. 72 captains, 15,000 crew members, all watching him, all waiting for orders. 3 days ago, Captain Morrison made first contact with an alien species, Blake said. He defended human territory. He protected human technology. He did his duty. Now it is our turn to do ours. He paused. Let his words sink in. We are going to the contested zone, he continued. We are going to support Captain Morrison, and we are going to show the galaxy who we are. We are human. We are strong. We are here to stay. The Kryn will come. They will bring their fleet, and we will give them a choice. Join us in peace, or face us in war. The commanders saluted. They understood. This was it, the moment humanity had been preparing for. For 300 years they had hidden, built ships, established colonies, grown strong in secret. Now the secret was over. We depart in 6 hours, Blake said. Make sure your ships are ready. Make sure your crews are ready. And remember, we are not looking for a fight, but if they give us one, we will finish it. The fleet prepared to leave. Engineers checked every system. Weapons officers tested every gun. Medical staff prepared for casualties. Everyone. The Kryn fleet arrived at the contested zone exactly on schedule. 50 warships emerged from faster-than-light travel. They moved into a perfect formation, a blockade that surrounded the area where the human ship had been detected. Commander Zekthar stood on the bridge of his flagship. His tactical display showed the entire sector, and there, alone in the center, was the human ship, the Valiant, still maintaining its position, still guarding that listening post, refusing to leave. One ship, Council Member Vex said. He had insisted on coming with the fleet, to witness the victory personally. They are either very brave or very stupid, or they are waiting for something, Dr. Valisa said quietly. She stood near the back of the bridge, watching, analyzing, trying to understand human thinking. Zekthar agreed with her. Something felt wrong. The human ship could have run, could have hidden, but it stayed. Why? Did it have reinforcements coming, or was it a trap? Open a channel to the human ship, Zekthar ordered. The screen changed. It showed the bridge of the Valiant, and in the captain's chair sat a human, Captain Jake Morrison. He looked calm, almost relaxed, as if 50 warships did not surround him. This is Commander Zekthar of the Kryn Confederation, Zekthar said. You are surrounded. Your ship is alone. You cannot win. I am offering you one chance to surrender. Power down your weapons. Prepare to be boarded, and we will spare your life. Jake Morrison smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Commander, Jake said. I appreciate the offer. I really do. But I am afraid I cannot accept. You see, this is human territory. You are the ones trespassing, not us. Human territory? Vex laughed. One ship does not make territory. You are outnumbered 50 to 1. You have no chance. Maybe, Jake said. But I suggest you wait 6 hours before making any decisions you might regret. 6 hours. Zekthar noted the specific time frame. Why 6 hours? What was supposed to happen in 6 hours? No. Vex said. We will not wait. We will not negotiate with a single ship. Attack formation. Prepare to fire. Wait, Zekthar said. But it was too late. The fleet was already moving. Weapons charging. Shields at maximum. The Valiant did not move. It just sat there, waiting, as if it knew something they did not. And then space changed. It was like reality itself was tearing apart. Massive holes appeared in the fabric of space. And through those holes came ships. Human ships, dozens of them. No, not dozens. 72. 72 warships. Each one larger than the Kryn vessels. Each one bristling with weapons. They appeared all at once, in a perfect formation. An attack wedge with a massive battleship at the point. The Kryn bridge erupted in chaos. Officers shouted. Alarms blared. The tactical display lit up like a star. Red icons everywhere, surrounding them, outflanking them, overwhelming them. How? Vex whispered. How did they hide so many ships? They did not hide them, Velisa said. Her voice was filled with awe. They just arrived. From somewhere else. Somewhere far away. They came because their ship called for help. Because humans do not abandon their own. The communication system activated. A new voice filled the bridge. Deep. Commanding. Human. This is Admiral Richard Blake of the Terran Defense Fleet. You are in human-claimed space. Power down your weapons and prepare for diplomatic negotiations. Or you will be fired upon. You have 5 minutes to decide. 5 minutes? Not 6 hours. Not an hour. 5 minutes to make a decision that would determine the fate of the Confederation. Zekthar looked at his tactical display. The human fleet was not just larger, it was positioned perfectly. Every Kryn ship was targeted. Multiple human ships aimed at each one. Overlapping fields of fire, no gaps, no weaknesses. It was a masterpiece of tactical planning. They have us, his tactical officer said quietly. If we fight, we lose. Badly. Then we surrender? Vex said. His voice was shrill, panicked. The mighty Kryn Confederation surrenders without firing a shot? No, Zekthar said. We negotiate. There is no shame in talking. Admiral Blake offered diplomacy. Let us see what humans want. He activated the communicator. Admiral Blake, this is Commander Zekthar. I request a parley. Let us discuss this situation like civilized beings. There was a pause. Then Blake's voice returned. Agreed. Holographic conference in 10 minutes. You may bring advisors. So will I. 10 minutes later, the holographic conference began. On one side stood Commander Zekthar, Dr. Velisa, and Council Member Vex. On the other side stood Admiral Blake, Captain Morrison, and several other human officers. Blake looked exactly as Zekthar had imagined. Tall, gray hair, hard eyes, a warrior, someone who had seen combat, who understood death, who would not hesitate to pull the trigger if necessary. Commander, Blake said, let me be direct. Humanity has been in this sector for 2 years. We have established listening posts. We have surveyed systems. We have claimed territory. This is not new. We have just been quiet about it. You invaded our space, Vex said angrily. Without permission, without contact. This is an act of war. Your space? Blake said. Based on, what? Ancient treaties? Arbitrary borders drawn thousands of years ago? The contested zone has been empty for millennia. No one lives there. No one uses it. We saw unclaimed territory and we claimed it. Just as you would have done. Zekthar had to admit Blake had a point. The contested zone was called contested precisely because no one owned it. The Kryn had never bothered to colonize it because the resources were poor and the location was inconvenient. Why reveal yourselves now? Zekthar asked. You could have remained hidden. Why show us your presence? Because your patrol ship found our listening post, Blake said. Captain Morrison made a choice. He could let you take our technology, learn about us, spread information throughout the sector, Or he could reveal our presence on our terms. He chose the latter. I support his decision. And now? Zekthar asked. What do humans want? Blake's expression softened slightly. We want what everyone wants. A place to live. A place to grow. A place to be safe. We do not want war, Commander. War is wasteful, expensive, unnecessary. We want peace, but we want it on equal terms. Equal terms, Velisa said. You have more ships, better weapons. You have us surrounded. How is this equal? Because I am offering you a choice, Blake said. We could destroy your fleet right now. We have the firepower, we have the positioning, we have the advantage, but we are not going to do that. Instead, I am proposing a treaty. The contested zone becomes a neutral border zone. Neither of us colonizes it. Both of us can pass through it. We establish diplomatic relations. We trade. We cooperate. We build something better than what we had before. And if we refuse? Vex asked. Blake's eyes went cold. Then you go home. You tell your High Council that you met humanity. You tell them we have 72 ships in this sector. And you tell them that we have 6 more fleets. Each one larger than this. And Earth? Earth has been preparing for this moment for 300 years. We have colonies on 50 worlds. We have shipyards building new vessels every day. We have an industrial base that can support a war effort for decades. He paused. Let his words sink in. You can bring your entire confederation here, Blake continued. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, and we will fight you and we will win. Because that is what humans do. We survive. We adapt. We overcome. We never quit. The room was silent. Everyone knew Blake was not bluffing, or if he was doing it perfectly. His confidence was absolute. His certainty was complete. Zekthar made a decision. I need to consult with my government. Give me 24 hours. You have 12, Blake said. After that, we assume you have chosen war. And we will act accordingly. The conference ended. Zekthar immediately sent a message to Thessar Prime. He explained the situation. The human fleet. Blake's offer. The impossible choice. The High Council debated for hours. Some wanted to fight. To call the humans' bluff. To defend Kryn honor. Others wanted peace. They saw the tactical display. They understood the reality. Fighting would mean death. In the end, wisdom won over pride. 8 hours later, Zekthar received his orders. Negotiate, make peace, establish relations. The Confederation was not ready for war with humanity. Maybe they never would be. He contacted Blake. Admiral, the High Council has agreed to your terms. We will establish the neutral zone. We will open diplomatic channels. We will work toward cooperation. Blake nodded. A wise choice, Commander. I look forward to working with you. One question, Zekthar said. If I had refused, if I had chosen to fight, would you really have destroyed my fleet? Blake looked him in the eye. Yes, without hesitation, because that is what war means. Total commitment, no half measures. But I am glad you chose peace instead. It is a better path for both our peoples. Zekthar believed him, and in that moment, he understood. Humans were not monsters. They were not mindless killers, but they were absolutely, completely, utterly serious about defending themselves, about protecting their people, about claiming their place in the galaxy. The Kryn fleet powered down their weapons. The human fleet did the same. And in the space between them, a new relationship was born. Not friendship, not yet, but respect, understanding, a foundation for something better. On the bridge of the Valiant, Jake Morrison watched the two fleets stand down. He felt relief wash over him. They had done it. They had survived. They had held the line until help arrived. And now humanity had a place. 3 months after the confrontation, the Treaty of the Contested Zone was signed. The ceremony took place aboard the UNS Washington. Representatives from both the Kryn Confederation and Earth attended. Cameras recorded everything. This was history. This was the moment when humanity officially joined the galactic community. Commander Zekthar signed for the Kryn. Admiral Blake signed for humanity. They shook hands. A human gesture that Zekthar had learned meant friendship and agreement. It felt strange, but also right. The treaty was simple. The contested zone would remain neutral. Neither side would build bases there. Neither side would mine resources there. But both sides could travel through it freely. It was a buffer, a space between two civilizations, a place where peace could grow. But the treaty was more than just borders and territory. It included a technology exchange program, cultural exchange, trade agreements, and most importantly, a non-aggression pact. Neither side would attack the other. Disputes would be settled through diplomacy, not war. Dr. Velisa was appointed as the Kryn's first ambassador to humanity. She had been right about humans all along. Now she would have the chance to learn more, to understand them better, to build bridges between two very different species. Her first visit to Earth changed her life. The planet was overwhelming. She had studied it in ancient texts. But seeing it in person was different. The oceans were vast. The mountains were tall. The forests were thick and green. And everywhere there were humans, billions of them, living, working, building, creating. This is a death world, she said to her guide, a young human diplomat named Sarah. How did your species survive here? Sarah smiled. We adapted. We learned. We never gave up. My grandmother used to say that Earth made us strong. All the challenges, all the dangers. They taught us to be resilient. Velisa saw the truth in that. Humans were strong because they had to be, but they were also kind, curious, creative. They were not the monsters from the ancient texts. They were people, complex, flawed, but fundamentally decent. Captain Jake Morrison was promoted to Commodore. He was given command of the First Contact Fleet, a new division created specifically for encountering other alien species. His experience with the Kryn made him the perfect choice. The ceremony was held on Earth. Jake stood in full dress uniform. His parents watched from the audience. His crew stood beside him. Amy Grant, Ben Holland, Lisa Chen, they had all been promoted too, recognized for their bravery, for their quick thinking, for holding the line when it mattered most. You did something remarkable, Admiral Blake said as he pinned the new rank on Jake's uniform. You made first contact. You defended human territory, and you survived long enough for help to arrive. You are a credit to the uniform and to humanity. Jake felt proud, but also humble. He had just been doing his job, making the best decisions he could with the information he had. Any captain would have done the same. After the ceremony, Jake talked with Amy. What do you think comes next? She asked. More first contacts, Jake said. The Kryn were just the beginning. There are dozens of other species out there. Maybe hundreds. Some will be friendly. Some will not. We need to be ready for anything. Are you nervous? Amy asked. Always, Jake admitted, but also excited. We are exploring the galaxy, meeting new species, building relationships. This is what humanity was meant to do. To reach out, to connect, to find our place among the stars. Lieutenant Amy Grant wrote a manual about the encounter. She called it Tactical Considerations for First Contact Scenarios. It became required reading at every military academy on Earth. Future officers studied how the Valiant had engaged the Kryn patrol ship, how they had analyzed alien technology, how they had made difficult decisions under pressure. Chief Engineer Ben Holland worked with Kryn scientists on the technology exchange. He was amazed by how differently the two species approached engineering. Humans focused on efficiency and adaptability. Kryn focused on stability and long-term reliability. Together they created hybrid systems that were better than either species could have built alone. This is fascinating, Ben said to his Kryn counterpart one day. They were working on a new engine design. You use crystalline matrices for data storage. We use quantum processors. If we combine them, we get something completely new, the Kryn engineer finished. Faster, more stable, better. They smiled at each other. Different species, different approaches, but the same goal, to build, to create, to make things better. Dr. Lisa Chen published a paper on comparative xenobiology, She analyzed human and Kryn physiology, their similarities and differences, how they had evolved differently, but arrived at similar solutions to common problems. Her paper won awards on both Earth and Thessar Prime. It became the foundation for a new field of study. Comparative alien biology, understanding how different species developed, what made them unique, what made them similar. Admiral Blake addressed the United Nations General Assembly 6 months after the treaty was signed. Every nation on Earth watched. Every colony in space watched. This was important. This was the future being shaped. Humanity can no longer hide, Blake said. The galaxy knows we exist. Other species will come. Some seeking trade, some seeking alliance, some seeking to test our strength. We must be ready for all of them, he paused, looked at the assembled delegates. But we must also remember who we are, he continued. We are explorers, scientists, artists, dreamers. Yes, we can fight. Yes, we can defend ourselves. But that is not all we are. We are also builders, creators, peacemakers. Let us show the galaxy all of what humanity can be, not just our strength, but our compassion, our curiosity, our hope. The assembly applauded, not because the speech was eloquent, but because it was true. Humanity had revealed itself as warriors. Now they needed to show they were more than that. The Kryn Confederation changed after meeting humanity. The encounter had shaken them, made them question their assumptions. For centuries they had been comfortable, confident, unchallenged. But humans had shown them that complacency was dangerous. A reform movement grew in the Confederation. They called themselves the Renewal Party. They argued that the Kryn needed to innovate, to adapt, to grow, just like humans had done. We have been stagnant, their leader said in a speech on Thessar Prime. We have relied on old technology, old tactics, old thinking. The humans showed us what happens when a species never stops improving, never stops learning, never stops pushing forward. If we want to survive in this new galaxy, we must do the same. Commander Zekthar joined the Renewal Party. He became one of their most vocal supporters. His experience with humans had changed him. He saw things differently now. He understood that strength came not from weapons or ships, but from the ability to adapt, to change, to grow. He maintained regular communication with Admiral Blake. They were not friends exactly. Too much history separated them. But they were something. Colleagues, allies, partners in keeping the peace. How are the reforms going? Blake asked during one of their calls. Slowly, Zekthar admitted. Change is never easy, but it is happening. We are modernizing our fleet, updating our tactics, opening our minds to new possibilities. Good, Blake said, because the galaxy is changing fast. New species are emerging. New challenges are arising. We need to be ready. All of us, across human space, colony worlds celebrated. For 300 years they had lived in secret, hidden from the galaxy, afraid of what would happen if they were discovered. Now that fear was gone, humans were no longer hiding. They were here, and they were equals. Children looked up at the night sky with new wonder. The stars were no longer mysterious. They were destinations, places where humans lived, where humans worked, where humans thrived. On Colony World New Haven, a young girl asked her father a question. Dad, are we safe now? Now that everyone knows about us? Her father thought carefully before answering. Safe, maybe not completely. The galaxy is a big place. There are dangers out there, species we have not met yet, challenges we have not faced yet. But we are safer than we were. Because now we have allies, we have friends, we have a place in the galactic community, and we have shown everyone that humans are not prey. We are survivors. We are strong, and we will never give up, the girl smiled. She understood. Safety was not about having no enemies. It was about being ready for anything, about having the strength to face challenges, about never backing down. News of humanity spread beyond Kryn space. Other species heard the stories, about the mysterious humans who had appeared from nowhere, about their advanced technology, about their tactical brilliance, about their unwillingness to surrender. Some species sent diplomatic envoys to Earth. They wanted to meet these humans, to trade with them, to learn from them. Maybe even to ally with them. Earth welcomed them, cautiously at first, but welcomingly. Humans had dreamed of this moment for centuries, meeting other intelligent life, exchanging ideas, building friendships across the stars. Other species were more cautious. They watched from a distance, calculating, analyzing, trying to understand if humans were a threat or an opportunity. Some saw potential partners, others saw competition, and a few, the aggressive and territorial species who had dominated their regions for generations, began to plan. They saw humans as a challenge,